All right, everybody. Welcome officially to the beginning of a new challenge. One where I will most certainly test the patience of my good friends at EA with this meme that we have going here today. For those who might just be joining us, welcome to the Burnaby Chings. I will showcase everything that has to do with this custom team and then further explain as to what we are doing here. But you get a look at the information surrounding the team. You get a look at the jerseys and of course the logos as well, which again, our primary logo, EA Sports, our secondary logo representing the yachts of EA executives. Uniform wise as well, of course it's an iconic look for the home jersey, you know, the green rectangles, almost dollar shaped, maybe even credit card shaped, and then the road jerseys as well, continuing that particular tradition. No alternate as of yet. We'll get there eventually. And then of course you get a look at the loot box itself. I mean, here we can take a full look. Didn't mean to hit back there, but we can take a full look at this magnificent new stadium, of course brought to you by Bitcoin. At least that's what I'm going with. But this magnificent stadium that we will be adding into the NHL. For those that have been watching, we'll save the goal horn and the audio as a surprise for later. And then of course we have our very on-the-nose mascot, Surprise Mechanics. He'll get you. He'll get you. Old Surprise Mechanics. So that is the team, but what is the concept? Well, again, some of you who have paid attention to things, you know what the concept is already. I've talked about wanting to do this for a while now. Of course, the rosters are not done, but most of the rosters are done in terms of prospects. You know, I haven't added in guys like Owen Power yet, but for those who are already in the game, or for those prospects who are under contract, they are all in. I still have to edit the NHL and the AHL, and the series that we start after this, once roster sharing is out, will be our, probably, or even before roster sharing is out, we might be able to test things out. But we are going to be adding in an expansion team, of course, that being the Burnaby Chings. And what we are going to be doing is first and foremost going through this expansion draft. Now you can say, oh, are you going to take the time to edit the AHL team? No. Let's be honest, we could go through a follow-up idea. Who gives a shit? I don't really care much about the AHL team because I gotta be honest with you, the AHL team is going to be very, very, very unimportant in this series, so I really don't give a damn about them. It puts us in the Pacific Division by default, which is perfect. Of course, you can put the 33rd expansion team in any division, but we want to be right there with our rivals in Vancouver. So the Burnaby Chings will be in the Pacific Division. Owner mode will be off. Of course, the extra contract year is going to be there. Salary cap is on. GM firing, of course, is off. The whole edit lines, fog of war. Player morale will be on because I hate myself. And we will have Seattle be exempt from the expansion draft because, hey, why not throw them a bone for once? So the Burnaby Chings, just about ready to go. Davos, you're missing nothing. You're missing absolutely nothing. But the Chings are ready to go. And we will get into the further details of what happens after this expansion draft. But we will be taking part in this expansion draft. We also just ended up with the #1 overall pick. Interesting. But we will be taking part in this expansion draft. We are allowed to take whoever we want, best players available. We are allowed to build this team in any way that we want to build it. So let's see who's out there. Let's see who is available. And again, these ratings would still be from EA's launch roster ratings. Again, I have not been able to fully edit everything as of yet. And, I mean, Max Jones is probably our best option here in terms of he has term. And we Might see him develop a little bit more. I mean, Silverberg's not that bad. We could take Derek Grant for the memes. Put ourselves behind the 8 ball to appease to the Derek Grant-based fan base. But for the moment, Max Jones will be the pick from the Ducks. From the Coyotes, I'd hope I could take nobody, but I have to take somebody. Korshanar, however the hell that's pronounced. He might actually be the best option that we have. Bushkin, Dyson Mayo. Oof. For the forwards, is Dmitry Askin? He's not making that much, is he? Jesus Christ. Hibbs, thank you for listening to the podcast. I do appreciate it. Honestly, I mean, we could take the legend. We could take the legend. The funny thing is, we can build a little bit of a meme team. We can. But I don't know if that's the best direction for us to go. So we're going to take the goaltending. From the Boston Bruins. Oof. Matt Grzelcyk's there. Like Riley, Derek Forbort. Note a goal scorer, Derek Forbort. Urho Vakanainen is also available. He is probably the best choice of the bunch. If it's not him, it's Jake DeBrusk. DeBrusk is 24, 81. Jack Studnicka's there too. 77 in the 22. 78, and he's 22. It's either Stud or Vakanainen. I'm going to hold off on making that pick from the Bruins because we might have our opinion changed by other teams. Jokiharju is probably the best option from the Sabres, even though he's a low 4. I can't imagine there'll be anybody better than that. Especially if we don't want to go with the memes. Like, I get that Zemgus Girgenssen's there, and he is a great meme. We're going to go with Jokiharju, and, I mean, he's under contract for 4 years at 2.5. That's not that bad. Goaltending in Calgary. Dan Vladar's there. Tyler Parsons, still somehow a medium starter. Love to see it. Noah Hannafin. Decent chunk of change, but could be a solid defender for us. It's not quite Dougie Hamilton, though, is he, Flames fans? And then, Mangiapane. Which, by the way, once I'm done editing, yeah, Mangiapane's going to be higher than an 83. Yeah, he's going to be closer to a 93 than he is an 83. Guy's unreal. It is either. They had to protect Jeff Skinner. He wasn't there. At least I don't think he was there. Oh, we could have Blake Coleman until the end of time. It's down to Mangiapane or Hannafin. So again, we'll come back. Carolina. Ranta's there. God, did he really get a 3-year deal? Jesus. No thank you to Brady Shea. Please. Ethan Bear is available. It's not a bad option at all. I mean, Ranta or Bear, it could certainly be worse. Well, we know who we're taking. And, yeah. Yep. That, yeah, that's fairly obvious. We are going to immediately take the meme away from the memers. And we're going to take Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Easy does it. From this dumpster fire of an organization, who will we save? Kevin Lankinen's not a bad goalie option. Caleb Jones can suck a fat one. Who do we got? Adam Gaudette, Brett Connolly. I mean, Alex Nylander. It's down to Nylander or Lankinen. Nylander or Lankinen, we're going to hold off. Colorado. Again, we'll come back. Colorado has Francouz, who somehow is in 84, even though the guy can't stay healthy. Figure that one out. Defensively, Devon Taves, who should be about 10 overall points higher, is there. So again, goaltender. is an option, as is forward, or as is defense. Forward-wise, it's a little bit rough, so it's another team we'll come back to. Columbus. Columbus. It's looking rough, I gotta be honest. It's gonna have to be a forward, and it's either Tessier or Roslovic. And the question's pretty much, do we think Tessier will end up being better than Jack Roslovic? That's what that comes down to. Tessier has the extra year. Will he go up 2 points in 3 years? I think that he would. We're going to go for Tessier. Old Tex. Well, that makes the decision easy. Dallas, Hadobin, Holtby. Ottinger's there. He's still only medium fringe because LOLEA. Ottinger's a damn good goalie option, but then obviously John Klingberg is there. Does he not have the extension anymore because we added in the contract year? Did we not have to add in the contract year? That's the real question. Did we not have to add in the contract year? Klingberg? Or does Klingberg not? No, I'm thinking of Heiskanen. Klingberg doesn't have the extension. Never mind. Never mind. Well, there's Ty Dellandrea, 77 to 20 years old. There's Klingberg or there's Ottinger. We'll come back. Detroit. Slim pickings here. We're looking at like Troy Stecher. Oof. Okay. It's either Stecher or Fabry. We'll go for Robbie Fabry from the wing, as there's nobody really better to take. Edmonton. Well, that made that decision easy. Glad to know the Oilers are still dumb, even in video game form. Shout out to Stuart Skinner. Clefbaum, Cece. I mean, Evan Bouchard's there, but despite the fact that we used him in Seattle, there's no doubt we go for Puljujarvi here. No doubt. Florida. Chris Gibson. Olli Levy is there. And so far, our best option. Unless we were to take Jumbo. Yeah, easy choice here. It's Olli Levy. Easy choice from the Florida Panthers. We're taking Olli Levy. From the LA Kings. Got Jonathan Quick and Garrett Sparks, Leafs legend. Yikes. When Carl Grundstrom might be my best option from a team, that's kind of rough. Man, they disrespected the hell out of Anderson Dolan, huh? I mean, all these guys are medium 9s. It's got to be Jared Anderson Dolan. It's got to be. Disrespected on that potential, though. Absolutely. From Minnesota. Not taking a goalie. Kalen Addison's available. 77, 21 years old. And for the forwards, I mean, we're looking at like Rem Pitlick. So that's an easy slam dunk pick of Kalen Addison. Since we're not going for the memes, and we're actually going a little bit try hard at the start. Montreal protects Carey Price. I mean, like Sam Montembeau's ridiculous overrating aside, do we have anybody else? Brett Kulak, Sami Niku kept a medium top 4 for them somehow. I mean, Arturi Lehkonen, but he's not going to get much better. There's not really a great choice here, is there? Like, there's Ryan Poehling and hoping that he gets better. Sami Niku and hoping that he gets a little bit better. Or we go for Jake Allen as one of our goalies, and I got to be honest, I'm leaning towards Jake Allen. I mean, we have one goalie so far, and if we go with Jake Allen here, we could get some better options from different teams. I'm going to go for Jake Allen. I'm going to go for Jake Allen, and he joins goalie so far. Nashville. Riddick and Ingram. Ingram's not a terrible option. Nor is Phil Myers. Yakov, Trennan. I think we're taking Phil Myers with this pick. Done deal. New Jersey. Yeah, PK's there. Bernier and Wedgwood. Do have Subban and not much else on the D-line. What about up front? Michael McLeod. Easy pick. Easy pick is Michael McLeod from New Jersey. For the New York Islanders, Corey Schneider, baby. Bring him back. Mayfield, oh boy. This is bleak. I mean, Kiefer Bellows, 78 at 23 years old. He doesn't have the best potential in the world, but yeah, it's got to be Kiefer Bellows. Fair enough. From the New York Rangers, Kincaid and Huska. Libor Hayek on the blue line might be the best option. There is Sammy Blais. Shout out to Tyrone. Straight out of camp. We're going to go with Libor Hayek. The Ottawa Senators. Matt Murray. No thank you. On the blue line, Victor Mete. So far the best option. And for the forwards, I mean, it's either Mete or Colin White. 24. Yeah, it's got to be Colin White. He is a risky pick for the contract he's already under. So maybe not. Maybe not. We'll come back. Just make an X-Tech joke. It wasn't an X-Tech joke. It was an X-Tech reference. Philadelphia. Martin Jones, Felix Sandstrom. On the blue line, Travis Sanheim, who again gets jobbed by EA with these ratings. It's got to be Oscar Lindblom. That's not even a question. It's got to be Oscar, for sure. Sanheim's not bad. We're going Lindblom, no doubt. No doubt in my mind. From Pittsburgh, Tristan Jarry. Don't know about that one. On the blue line, Dumoulin. Fellow Maine brethren there. You got Ruedel, Matheson. Obviously, there's Rust, Zucker, Carter. Oh my God. Who the hell do we take from Pittsburgh? I mean, Rust might be the best option. It's got to be Rust. I mean, he doesn't even get paid that much for how good he is. It's Rust or Dumoulin. We'll come back to Pittsburgh. It's probably Brian Rust. For San Jose, in goal is Aiden Hill. That's not bad. On the blue line, fucking nobody, please. And for the forwards, it's Bonino. You got Balsers, Merkley, Noah Gregor. Gadjevich was there. Astral. Thank you for the 37 months. Again, the rosters are good. I still have to edit the NHL and the AHL in terms of ratings, but everything else looking damn good. San Jose will come back to as well because we have options. From St. Louis, most overrated goalie in the game, it's Ville Husso. Got Lindgren, Hofer. Hofer's actually not that bad. Hofer, whatever it is. Defensively, oh God. Shout out to Tommy Cross. It's got to be Jordan Kyrou. I had a feeling that'd be the obvious choice, and it is. We will take Jordan Kyrou. From the Tampa Bay Lightning. Not going to be Elliott or Lagasse. It's got to be Chernak. If it's not Chernak, it's Calfoot. You can make an argument for Calfoot just to use somebody different, since we just used Chernak in Seattle. Yeah, it's down to one of those two. For the sake of being different, do we use Calfoot? I don't mind reusing certain players. I mean, Chernak's on just so good of a deal. We'll use him. Sorry to Calfoot, but I'm going try hard here. From the Toronto Maple Leafs, I elect to pick nobody. But Ian Scott is an option, as is Jack Campbell, I suppose. Muzzin, it's a bit risky, as is the Brody deal. There is Liljegren if we wanted to go a bit cheaper. Joey Anderson, Malgin. Let's be honest, I think it's down to a defender or a goaltender. And leaning towards Timothy Liljegren. Just because, I mean, honestly, Justin Hall's deal isn't that bad. Whether or not he's worthy of that 82, that could be debatable. Let's, how soon would Timothy Liljegren hit an 82 is the question. I'm going to bring in Liljegren. We'll save him from Toronto. From Vancouver, Halak, Martin, DiPietro, who of course was one of the AHLers that we edited, and yeah, he's not good. He's not yet. God, are we going to have anybody here? This is awful. This is terrible. And my best option's probably Brad Hunt. Jesus, or we take Halak. Ugh. I don't want to pay Hamonic that much money. We're going to take Brad Hunt. Because it's either Hunt or Sutter. We'll hold off. It's one of those two, though. For the Vegas Golden Knights, Brassois, Logan Thompson, Dylan Ferguson, Fence, McNabb, Hutton, and my boy Nick Hague. It's got to be Hague. It's got to be. Riley Smith, Dadenoff, Chandler Stevenson. Oh, yeah, it's Nick Hague. No doubt. No doubt. It's Mr. Nick Hague. For the Washington Capitals, Vanacek is there. Copley somehow has that rating. Orlov's not that bad. Lucas Johansson, he's too low rated at that age. I don't really like our choices here either. I'm going to be completely honest with you. To the point where Vanacek might be the best option, which means we're going to rule out the other goalies. Orlov at 5.1 isn't awful, but it isn't great. Hello, Monk. 16 months. He shall party later. I'll consider it. I'll consider it. God, it's either we go for like Connor Sherry, or I spend a little bit more money on Orlov. Orlov at 5.1 just isn't quite what I want. Shout out to Supercell. Solid streamer. We'll come back, because it's going to be Vanacek or Sherry. And here, before people decide to be dicks. There we go. On the Winnipeg chat. Holy crap. Alright, well that's an easy choice. Don't need Comrie. Yep, easy choice. We'll take Pierre-Luc Dubois. Thank you very much. So we go back to Boston. The debate was DeBrusk or Vakanainen. I really only need one more defender. Who were the? It depends on who the other defenders were that were out there. And here, let me take a little inventory here on who we got. Calgary, The debate was Mangiapane. The debate was Mangiapane or Hannafin, which is also quite the choice. You could also go for Darth Vladar. Good old Darth Vladar. Between the pipes. Trash bags, we have... I mean, honestly, Kevin Lankinen. Again, if it's not Lankinen, we go for Nylander. So we'll rule... we'll write down those two as our options as well. Unless it's like such a super obvious choice now. Again, for Colorado here, I mean, Francouz isn't that bad. Who's the alternative to him? Taves isn't on the worst deal in the world, nor is Ryan Murray, but Taves is a little bit better. Yeah, it's a defender in that situation. Shane Bowers kind of got jobbed on his potential. So if I look at either Francouz, would I want to go with Francouz or would I want to go with Lankinen or Vladar? If I take Francouz, that means I take Nylander, and it means I don't take Vladar. If I take Lankinen, it means I get Taves instead of Nylander. See, we have choices here. We do have choices. What do we got on Dallas? So Dallas, of course, as well. There's the Ottinger option, even though they shafted him on potential. Then there's John Klingberg, which is a hell of an option. Or at forward, we have Ty Dellandrea, who's also not bad. So, I mean, Dallas, that's a hell of an option no matter what. And then Ottawa, it was between Victor Mete or Colin White, and that's just solely for the money. Which, again, I want to see what our cap is at before we make that choice. If we have the money to spend, I don't mind picking up Colin White. Which means Pittsburgh. I'm going to rule out Tristan Jarry. We have better options. So that comes down to Dumoulin or Brian Rust. And we're going to take Brian Rust with that pick from Pittsburgh. Leaves us with $36 million in cap space as of the moment. For the San Jose Sharks, again, Aiden Hill is a decent option in goal. If it's not Aiden Hill, then to hell if I know who it's even going to be. Like, in terms of younger players, it's probably Balsers or Merkley. Realistically. It's Balsers, and honestly, it probably ends up being Merkley. If it's not Aiden Hill. Which, could be more of a reason to go for the goalie, because then we have, granted, we'll have, you know, Aiden Hill's not as good as some of the other goalies that we have, but that will allow us to pick all the other debatable options elsewhere. So I'm really leaning towards taking Aiden Hill right now. I think that's our best option because the alternative for the Sharks isn't great. And in Vancouver, again, at forward, it's down to either Sutter or a Brad Hunt, essentially, which is just a garbage choice no matter what. And then Washington is down to Vanacek, Dmitry Orlov, or up front, we'd probably go with like a Connor Sherry. The best defenseman left on this board is probably Klingberg, which would rule out taking Hannafin, but we could take Mangiapane. Rules out Vakanainen, but then we take DeBrusk. Rules out Taves, but then we take Francouz. Damn. This is a tough choice, man. This is a tough choice. think it's got to be Klingberg, though. It's the best defenseman available. So, if it's not Klingberg, I wouldn't want it to be Orlov. Could debate Mete for the money, but I think we're going to take Colin White from Ottawa. And have that be like our one risky contract, really. So on defense, it is either Klingberg. We know who we're taking from Vancouver now, which is going to be Brandon Sutter, most likely. And actually, I mean, given he is younger, how is Alex Chason younger than Sutter? Let's take Alex Chason. Yeah, I have added stud into the conversation from the Bruins. So if we don't take Vanacek, we take Sherry. If we don't take Hill, we take a forward. I take Ottinger. So if we don't take Francouz, it has to be Taves. So I think that means, again, if we take Klingberg, it has to be Francouz as our other goalie. Or, yeah, you know, I think we got to go with that. So we're going to take John Klingberg away from Dallas, which means we're going to take Francouz in goal from the Avs. Which means if we're not taking goaltenders, our options just became much more obvious. So from Chicago, this trash organization, we are going to take Alex Nylander. From the Bruins, I don't know yet. From the Flames, we do know, actually, who we're going to take, and it's going to be Andrew Mangiapane. Goodness. From the Bruins, I don't know yet. It's either DeBrusk or Stud. It is either DeBrusk or Stud. Will Stud go up 4 overall points in that time? I don't know. But we will have better contract control. So we are going to take Jack over DeBrusk from San Jose. It comes down to Balsers or Merkley. And we might as well go... for Merkley because we'll have a bit more contract control. And then from Washington, we're going to go with Connor Sherry. I would have too few goaltender slot... Wait. Excuse me? What do you mean? What do you mean too few goaltender? So I hit the 3 out of 3 and the 9 out of 9. What are you talking about? May not pick this forward. You'd had far too... That doesn't make sense, though. I'm at the minimum requirements. As you can see on the right. I am... Okay, well... if I can't take Connor Sherry... I guess technically I could switch up the Colorado pick, then? And instead of taking Francouz, I can take Devon Taves? But then that brings me to 2 out of 3 goalies? And then what if instead I take Vanacek? And now we're good. I don't understand, but hey, we ended up with Devon Taves anyway. That leaves us with $23 million in space. So say hello to the initial version of the Burnaby Ching. Say hello to the initial version of this roster. Now, for the fun part. You might be asking yourself, okay, cool. That's the roster. Now what? Now what happens? Well, allow me to show you what happens next. Because we have the number 1 overall pick, right? We do. We do. And what happens next is we type into Google, pick a number between 1 and 32. Right? That's what we do. We say pick a number. And it picked number 30. It picked number 30. So what happens now? Well, let's see. Winnipeg would be number 32 by this logic. Washington would be 31, which means the Vegas Golden Knights will be the recipients of our draft picks because we will not be making any draft picks in this challenge. Not a single one. Not a single draft pick will be made by this team. Not a single one. So say goodbye to those, as Vegas gets a medium lead 81 overall in Svitov. And you might have noticed too, hey, you didn't trade away any of the guys that you just got. That is because in this series, we will not be making draft picks. We will not be making any trades aside from the trades to get rid of those draft picks because this is the long-awaited free agent only challenge. If we sign them, they stay unless we lose them on waivers or they get bought out. Free agents only. Can we win ourselves a cup by having to play the market against every other team? This is our starting roster. $24 million in cap space. How soon can we get the job done with an expansion team? I thought maybe, hey, just take the worst dudes available, but that would leave me with all the money in the world to just get all the best free agents for the first couple of years. Instead, now I have to navigate these waters dealing with the fact that we already have these contracts. So we will be going through our first free agency period, which not expecting much to be there, of course, because of the contract situations. Yeah, case in point. Not going to be much there, but we'll try to fill out the roster as best we can. And then we will be going through our first season with this team. With leading scorer from last year, Brian Rust.